Lewis Hamilton is debatably the best F1 driver of all time, but if he didn't use this tactic, he may have been left behind in karting. So I'm going to tell you what this tactic is, and then you can implement it in your karting, so you can maybe become a multiple-time F1 champion. In 2016, Lewis Hamilton talked about this tactic. He stated, "Eventually, with enough practice, I was able to brake there, and therefore I was quicker than everyone on the track, and that also allows me to pull off some of the overtakes I make these days." But what did he do? Well, it revolves around braking points, because if you brake later, you lose less speed, so therefore you can gain time on your lap times and on your opponents ahead. Lewis would examine some of the racing lines that the best drivers took, but instead of copying them like I imagine most of you do, he went harder, he braked later, so he could gain time on them and be better than them, because that's what's needed to get into the highest level. But how do you brake later than the best drivers? Because it's not simple, or everyone will be doing it. Well, a lot of it is confidence and trial and error. Lewis would try over and over again for hours and hours straight to brake later, often spinning out and hitting the wall. But eventually he got used to it. He could brake there, and you can too. But in rental karting sessions, you don't have hours and hours of time. So I'm going to tell you how to protect it in rental karting as well. To find someone to get influence from, just ask the marshal. Many of them are very experienced in karting and can give you a few tips, even if you think you're already very advanced at the track. Once they've given you all they've got to know, then you can start implementing the strategy. I'll give you 3 tips so you can get up to speed quickly. The first tip is to make sure you do brake hard into the corners. And remember, nothing too bad happens if you misjudge your braking point. All that might happen is you do a spin like this. Or maybe a spin like this. That's not too bad. And Lewis has stated that he hit many barriers when he was trying to perfect his braking points. As a second point, you can maybe sit behind a kart which is slightly slower than you, and then find an adventurous way to overtake which requires heavy braking. If you successfully pull off the overtake, then you know in the future that you can brake harder into that corner. That will gain you loads of time. My third tip is to brake on the outside of the track. This would allow you to gain speed, as you can take a smoother line through the corner. But I can guarantee you're still making a mistake which is ruining your lap times, and for that, click right here.